What's up, guys? It's Casey Zilgelman, aka the Fourth Sanderson Sister, here coming at you with a brand new video. Okay, so, in case you haven't noticed, I've been on a very long YouTube vacation. I talked about this in another video that I just posted. It was my Pokemon card unboxing video. Don't know if you guys watched it or not. Those tend to not get as many viewers, but I go into more detail about what was going on there. I am so sorry for not posting anything for like a year, but my mental health was in a severe decline the last couple of years. It was so bad to the point that I just didn't do anything when I got home from work. I would go to work, I would come home, I would lay on my bed. I was just existing. I was not doing good. I was just going through the motions. But good news is I have finally gotten the help that I needed, and now I'm back. I can't say for sure how many videos I'll be getting out per month or even per week or whatever. But I'll be doing more videos. I do still work 40 hours a week, so that takes up most of my time. But I'll try to get videos out more often. Especially now that we've got some huge news in the Hocus Pocus fandom. To be fair, this was announced in December and I was still on my YouTube vacation, but hey, we'll get there. So we've got really big news in the fandom. For real this time. It's not just a rumor anymore. It's real. Disney Plus has approved a Hocus Pocus 2 movie. And I cannot wait. I'm very excited. But I'm equal parts excited and I'm equal parts terrified. There's a lot riding on this film. Last report I heard they have a director, Anne Fletcher, who took over for the previous director, who was going to be Adam Shankman or Alan Shankman. I can't remember exactly his name. Doesn't matter now. He's not in the movie. He's a producer now. He's not just a producer. He's a producer now, but he's not directing. It is Anne Fletcher. They have a writer, I believe, who is Jen D'Angelo, and now, oh boy, now we have the news that made me cry in the break room on my lunch break a couple of weeks ago. Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, and Kathy Najimy are confirmed to be reprising their roles as the Sanderson sisters.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm!
Oh my gosh. That's huge. We're getting the stars back, guys. We're getting the women who made this movie work back. I cannot express how happy I am that they all three signed on. And rumor has it that Thora Birch may also be involved, but there's no real confirmation on that one yet. That is currently just a rumor. The Sanderson sisters, however, are coming back. I am hype. This is huge. In all the years we've been dealing with rumors of a sequel, a remake, another sequel, this is the big time. Now with that said, remember how earlier I said I'm equal parts excited and I'm equal parts terrified? Well, that's because there's a lot fans are going to want out of this movie, and plenty of things we do not want to see. So today, I'm going to cover my thoughts on what I want to see and things I really, really don't. So if you're new to my channel, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and let's talk about Hocus Pocus 2.
Come! We fly!
My first want. I want a baller soundtrack. I really want to see this movie get a really fantastic soundtrack like the first one kinda had. I say kinda because the two singable songs we got didn't even end up on the actual soundtrack. It was only the score that ended up on the purchasable soundtrack. Look it up if you think I'm joking. Unless they changed that in the last couple of months. Last I checked, when you purchase that, you just get the score. John Debney's score was perfect, and I hope whoever takes on that duty for the sequel can give us just as much power that the first one did. We gotta put a spell on you and Come Little Children in the first one. I want us to have a soundtrack with, I'm gonna say, at least 3 songs we can sing along to, even if 2 of them are just a redux of the first 2 as full versions of those songs. Come on. The extended version of I Put a Spell on You that they do at Disney World for the Hocus Pocus Halloween extravaganza show is fire. It's so good. And you know what? I would like to see a full version of Come Little Children that isn't just, I think, 42 seconds long and about 10 or 12 seconds of that is Winifred talking. I need Sarah Jessica Parker doing an entire rendition of that song. That'd be great. And you know what? Let's also throw one in there for Mary, because she kind of deserves it. Mary deserves a little more screen time too, so there's like a little mini want. Now, my first don't want, I'm going to be honest, it doesn't need to be a musical. Now, with what I said about the soundtrack, this film doesn't need to be a full-on musical. The first one appeals to everyone because it isn't jam-packed with a bunch of Disney songs like every 2 minutes people are not breaking out into song. And that's good, because it worked. We had moments where the music was necessary and it drove the story. But I don't think they could have done more than 3, maybe 4 songs. It's got just a couple of earworms that make it just the right amount of music. Hocus Pocus as a musical would work on Broadway, which Kenny Ortega, fun fact, has said he would love to do that, by the way. He would love to make a stage version of Hocus Pocus. Hey, I would like that too. I would walk to New York for that. Maybe get on that. It's all good. But don't make the sequel movie a musical. 3, maybe 4, but that's pushing it. Songs would be sufficient. Don't want so much CGI that it could choke a horse. I get it. CGI's cheaper than practical effects, but for the love of all that is spooky, do not bog this film down with CGI effects. CGI can be a very distracting medium when it is overused because it looks cartoony. Personally, that's why I don't enjoy superhero movies as much, like Marvel and DC, because there's so much CGI. I get it, some of those stunts are a little crazy, but there's so much CGI, it just looks like a cartoon. Just make an animated cartoon, if you're gonna do that. Hocus Pocus, the very first one, had a healthy balance between CGI and practical effects, and it worked very well. I'll even go as far as to say the early CGI tech they were using looks less hokey than what we have today. Let's just compare the way Binks talks to the Dalmatians in Cruella. Just compare those two for a second and get back with me.
Nice going, Max.
You can talk.
Yeah, no kidding. Now, get the spell book. Come on, move it!
You see what I mean? It's just really... The Dalmatians looked really corny at points, and I don't want to see that happen here. Just use your CGI where you need to use it, but don't overdo it, guys, okay? Just don't bog it down. Don't choke a horse with the CGI. Want practical effects. I want practical effects. The practical effects made that movie so freaking real. Please bring this medium back for the sequel. The witches flying was always so great. And the trio of Bet, Sarah, and Kathy loved it. Heck, there are stories, and you can look these up. Multiple people have said Sarah Jessica Parker would just chill in her harness during breaks and, like, read the paper or a script or something. She'd just chill up there. She loved that harness. And I actually got to see Kathy Najimy back in 2019 at Cincinnati Comic Con, and she said she really liked hers too. Sometimes she'd just chill up there with SJP. And I'm like, dang, how cool is that? So yeah, they may have gotten older, but you know what? Safety measures have also improved. Age is no excuse for a really crappy CGI flight. Bet even has said that she thinks she could still fly. That's coming from Bette Midler, who's a little bit on the older side, y'all. She still thinks she can fly. Let's not just bog it down with CGI flight. Okay, thanks, bye. Well, another thing that I want, obviously, is I want some new characters. Obviously, Max, Danny, and Allison are all grown up now. It's been 28 years, 29 by next year. So I want to see some new characters running from the Sanderson sisters. It can be Max and Allison's kids, but I'd personally prefer another random group of kids. And then maybe, like, have Max, Allison, and Danny be the wise old sages at this point who've been through this before. But obviously, I want new characters. It wouldn't make sense for the same people to be doing it again. Another want, original characters to return. This one was a given. We gotta see the OG crew in this film. That means the witches, Max, Allison, Danny, Billy, Mom, Dad, Jay, and Ernie.
How many times I gotta tell you? My name ain't Ernie no more. It's Ice.
Oh, excuse me. Ice. Even if some of them are just brief cameos, they need to be there. If the random group of kids gets in trouble, they could find the original trio and ask for help, like I said just a couple of seconds ago. Stuff like that. That would be great. We need some cameos. Don't want a carbon copy of the sequel novel. Okay, so I was excited about that book until I started reading the sequel. There were some great moments, but as a whole, it was just kinda... ugh. There were problems that I just can't gloss over. The story being written in first person from Poppy's perspective was a terrible idea. It takes away from the overall story because Hocus Pocus is a two-sided story. You have the kids and their bit, and you have the witches and their bit. Two different stories that mesh together. I'm okay with them pulling some things from the novel, but please just make an original story for the overall scheme of things. The book, in my opinion, just was not as good as it should have been. Also, this is where the rest of my don't wants are coming from. Don't want. I don't want a sappy teenage love story to be the central focus like it was in the novel. If Max and Allison's romance was the central plot of Hocus Pocus, this movie would not have lasted as long as it has. That was a huge problem with the sequel book. Poppy and Isabella's romance was the main focus. I'm sorry, Poppy, but your parents and your aunt's souls were swapped with child-killing witches and sent to hell? And you're worried about if the girl you like's gonna kiss you? I think you got your priorities just a little bit mixed up here, honey. I'm okay with some romance. Obviously, Max and Allison had their moments, but their main focus was getting rid of the witches. Please, 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 I beg of you, do not turn this sequel into a rom-com. We spent so much freaking time in the book on that mushy junk, and very few chapters focusing on the witches, who are the main reason this movie is such a classic. The kids are not the draw. The Sanderson sisters are. If you think it's the kids, you're wrong. We watch it for the witches. Remember that, and this is not gonna suck. Don't want. the addition of a fourth Sanderson sister. Oh my god. This was the second worst decision the book made. The worst, obviously, being first-person perspective. Y'all, we don't need a fourth Sanderson sister for this movie. All that was a plot device to add shock value. No, just no.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
You could have simply made that character their cousin and it would have gone over better with me. I would take warring sides of the family over another long-lost sister trope. It made no sense that there was suddenly this fourth sister just chilling as a ghost. And you could do the exact same story without her. No, please, God, no. Sarah's the baby. She's the baby of the family. Keep it that way. This is not Once Upon a Time. We don't need another Sanderson. That trope has been done to death in soap operas and movies for decades. Heck, I'm guilty of using that in stories. But do not use it here. It won't fit. Half the fun we fans have is wearing merch that says we're the fourth Sanderson sister. Don't make all of that fun irrelevant. What the heck am I supposed to do with this channel if there's a fourth Sanderson sister? If you pull that stunt, what am I supposed to name this? The fifth? That's got a great ring to it. So if anyone out there is listening to me, do not make a fourth sister. I repeat, do not make a fourth sister. It was a bad idea in the book. It'll be a worse idea in the movie. We can forget it happened in the book. If it happens in a movie, it's just there. It's there and we can't get rid of it. Just don't do it. It's a trio and always should be a trio. If you absolutely have to have a relative on the good side, make it a cousin. Or if you must do a sister, here's a cool idea. The sisters all have the same mom, but different dads, right? Well, we have another red-headed witch show up, and it turns out she's Winifred's half-sister from their shared father. She is as powerful as Winnie, which annoys her, obviously. She treats Sarah and Mary a little better, so Winifred kind of starts getting jealous that they start liking her more and listening to her more. I mean, that would be some decent family drama if you had to do it. But you know what? I'm feeling generous. I'll give you a plot twist nobody would see coming instead of that crap. The first one's free. This is for you, Jen and Ann. Okay, you ready? Plot twist. Sarah and Mary get tired of how Winifred treats them, and they flip on her during the final fight. There's your plot twist. Okay, something I do want again. Let's talk about something positive. Something I do want. Sanderson Sisters versus Modern Technology Part 2. They discover Siri. That is all. Use your imaginations for the rest. Want the Sanderson Sisters' mother to show up. That was the one thing that dang book got right. We want to see the crazy woman who gave birth to those three lunatics. Even if it's just super brief, I want to see their mother. And to play her, get ready. Two choices. Carol Burnett or Betty White. Either one would fit the bill perfectly. Well, that covers everything I want to see in Hocus Pocus 2 and everything I definitely do not want to see. What do you guys think? What do you want to see in the new movie? And what do you want to stay as far away from it as possible? For me, my biggest don't want is the fourth Sanderson sister. That's just gotta not happen. There's a lot riding on this long-anticipated film, and I'm really excited to see where this goes. I can't wait for more news to share with you guys. It's going to be a very exciting year. We've got a whole year to speculate and talk about this. We don't really have a lot of speculation to go off of right now because it's still so new. Maybe we'll start getting some hints dropped throughout the year. then we can really start getting into the theory stuff, how we think this is going to go, have fun with that. But until then, we're just going to wait in anticipation. I'll throw some memes up at the end of this video that I think described our little happy little fandom on the day that we got confirmation that the Sanderson sisters are returning. I'll throw those up at the end of the video so you guys can look at them and hopefully have a good laugh. I really just cannot wait for more news to share with you guys. Thanks so much for hanging in there with me during my hiatus. I'm sorry I was gone for so long, but now that I'm getting some help and going to therapy, I'm getting a lot better and I'm feeling a lot better. That about wraps up this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Remember to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't. I'm Casey Zilgelman, aka the Fourth Sanderson Sister, and I will see you later.
I am